Today we've got Cree Trades coming down, or Charlie. I think he's currently down there. We're going to try and film a podcast with the limited equipment we've got, and just show him around the office, have good chats, and then we're in the Vanquish office tomorrow. So fun stuff going on. I've got an addiction to meme coins currently. We'll get into that later. There he is. Hello, mate. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, man, good.
This is Sam.
Man, nice to meet you, bro.
Sorry, I just washed my hands, they're wet.
Yeah.
Go on in. I've got an addiction to trading meme coins all of a sudden.
Oh, no.
I'll show you around a little bit. That's the gym. Very rarely use it. It's not very good in there. They might be busy. They do like a podcast in there. You're going to find, so this is the man down there has got me viciously into meme coins. And it's gone horribly. I've lost like $2,000. There's actually like a nice setup on GU today, but I just completely ignored it before. So after showing Charlie around the office, I took him up to the Sky Lounge because it was probably the most scenic part of the office. We had some good conversations. He met Josh and Dill, and I didn't want to have too much of a good conversation because obviously we want to get it filmed, which is what we're going to go into now.
For the guys that don't know me, I'm Cree Trades. I've been trading for 4 years. I started trading when I was 16, 17. I met you through, I think it was the MFF thing that I met you through.
Oh, what, me getting screwed over violently?
Because I remember I was in the gym at the time, and I seen a tweet about MFF, that something happened, and went onto the Discord and everyone's like chatting massively. And I'm like, oh, it's fine, it's probably just a blip. Went on to, what did I do? I went on to the Discord, then I went onto Instagram, went onto your Instagram because someone sent me your story. You lost the funding. Yeah. And then I followed you from there, and we was talking about it for a little bit. Then
what a place to kick off further.
A sad place.
So, if obviously for Cree's audience, I'm Rob. Really similar story. Been trading for about almost 5 years now. Started as well 17. Initially using my parents' funds and stuff like that, or parents opening the account and whatnot, which I don't recommend you do. Basically, obviously my Forex funds had $500,000 in funding with them, a 10k payout, all not live streamed, all shown on YouTube at least. And 28 days waiting for the 10k payout and 2 days left. Yeah. And then it goes under. And I was like, long day. Yeah. But I don't know, with prop funds at the minute, I don't really know exactly what to do with them in terms of, I only really back like FTMO. Yeah. I was big on Fund Engineer, and then they've gone all a bit weird. Yeah. Alpha Capital do genuinely seem really good. So
I know the owner Alex, not like personally, we've had conversations on WhatsApp, and he is a genuine guy. I think the content they're pushing now and like their narrative in the space is just like, I think they know they're on top, and I think they know they're doing really well. Yeah. So they're a bit cocky about it, but I like that.
Yeah, I saw their podcast. They did a podcast. I don't know if there's one main owner, but there was 2 partners as well, I think.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, isn't there?
Yeah, and they were all doing like a talk about it. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Tell us a bit about kind of what your journey looked like in terms of getting into trading. Why did you first start trading?
Yeah, so the journey started from, I was 16, 17. I got pushed into the career of engineering, which is like an average 16-year-old kid's life. Yeah. Started doing engineering, was studying design engineering. And then at that point in time, I was kind of like, I want to do something else. I want to do something different. Discovered trading. And then when I kind of started looking into penny stocks, crypto, I was looking at everything. I started trading options for like 2 years, which is like more of an American style of trading. Are you familiar with have you traded options at all?
Not massively. It sounds pretty similar, to be fair, to me getting started. I was mainly I first started trading when it was like the first lockdown, or one of the first lockdowns or whatever. And I remember oil being ridiculously cheap. And I was like, surely I can somehow buy some oil. I don't know what I was trying to do. I just knew that oil was really cheap. Yeah. So I thought I might as well try and buy some oil. So I downloaded Trading 212. Went through with the whole thing with my parents, and then bought some oil. I made some money from it, and then I was kind of like trying to find like new things. So I was like, oh shit, I've just made like 200 quid from doing fuck all. Yeah. So I started kind of looking into all these other pairs. I actually bought Ripple really cheap. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what that is. Yeah. But I started going through all the different markets, and I went to Forex, and I was like, this moves a lot more kind of like frequently in terms of volatility. And that kind of quickly drew me into that. And then as soon as you start looking into Forex, that's what I'm sure anyone watching this, their whole feed will be full of it within seconds. So that was kind of like me starting off. So you said you got started in options.
Yeah, so I was trading options for a year or two. And then I was making good money from that, but the issue with options is you need quite a lot of money to make a lot of money, because the contracts can vary from like $10 a piece to like $2,000 a piece. But when I was younger, when you bought option contracts for quite cheap, they were like much more volatile. So like I think it was like a 0.2 to 0.3 move on like Apple, for example, your contract would be like completely worthless. Like it would be worth nothing. So I was in the constant field of $50 into a contract, $100 into a contract, then like 2 seconds later they were gone. So I was trying to figure out how to do it but with more money and have more allocation to be able to like dollar cost average and scale into my positions. And then I discovered futures and Forex and then funded accounts, and then that's kind of where it just was like, like the trajectory of the portfolio was just mad.
Yeah, the potential.
Yeah.
Obviously, I always say it to like everyone in Woke, it's trading to me is just a capital gain. It's very little to do with percentage.
Yeah.
Like if you can just make 1% a month, but you can consistently do it. If you can do that with 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, then you're making either 10k a month, 20k a month, or 100k a month. If you can actually deal with that size accounts. And obviously, prop firms do allow you to get access to those kind of funds. It completely changed my journey. I actually went full time before I got my first prop firm, which is probably rash to a degree. But I managed to, like, very luckily, in my first year of like proper Forex trading, I had a few like big account flips where basically gambling, not any clear like idea of what I was doing. I remember I like just watched something on structural liquidity. And I was on the daily and I had like a £500 account, and I just saw, like, it was Monday, I saw that we'd broken the structural low, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just start buying. So I started buying, and I just, like, the first one won, so I kept scaling, I kept closing and buying. Every drawback I was buying was the weirdest week of my life. And I somehow managed to make that such a small amount of money, like 15 grand.
Really?
Just from scaling and like closing and buying, all the way up. And it did just for a week straight, and it was on USD Chef. You can look, it's just buys for like 5 days. And that was the luckiest.
That's crazy. I've ever done.
But that obviously then, I made a video on this yesterday, saying like, I just don't think that winning early in trading doesn't help to a degree, because I think you think that the market's got to give you money, you think these opportunities can come about all the time, you think it's easy, and then you have that kind of ego where you feel like you've got to
it's
win.
Easy and you can just get on with it.
Exactly.
I think I agree to like a certain extent, but I feel like it does, if you have the right mindset and you understand that that's not going to happen every single day, and you get that like quick budge up in money, like you said, 15 grand is a lot of money for a young trader. And if you use that money wisely, which I assume you have, then you can use that to potentially turn that into like potentially $500,000 like easily if you do it correctly and scale it up. But a lot of people that I was with when we were younger, we'd put 500 quid into an account, lose it, next paycheck from our apprenticeship we'd put another 500 quid into our account, and then we'd constantly do that. And then some of the lads would win a bunch. One of my friends turned like 2 grand into like 6 grand overnight, and then he immediately put that 6 grand into someone else and then lost it all. But it's like, you need that right mindset. If you do hit big and you get a little bit lucky, which happens, you need to know how to then control those financials for the future.
That was the exact same. I mean, I don't know, I always hear people say it's better to do it with friends and it's better to have someone keep you accountable, whatever. I don't know, in Bournemouth there was no one, of my knowledge, that really traded, other than the guy who actually suggested one of the courses I learned from. But I didn't want to pester him too much. We weren't like ridiculously good mates or anything like that. But none of my friends did it, so I was really like, no idea what I was doing. Obviously I'd done it a few times with account flips in terms of like turning a grand into like 6 or a grand into 10, but like that one was like kind of towards the end of that, and I did realise, I was like, this isn't, I don't know really what I'm doing. So that's when I really started going into kind of more learning a specific approach, learning everything that you need to know. And that's
kind of where I then got introduced to prop firms. So got the first FTMO account, and then since then, any payout I've ever got has just gone straight back into my personal, into crypto, into more funded accounts, because it's quite easy for it to not hit your bank and just go straight back into challenges. So yeah, and in terms of obviously going through prop firms, I think for me, I don't know about you, but I take these challenges and I know I'm not going to pass every single one. And it's the same way with the strategy. This is like just my approach to them. I know some traders listen to a lot of the American guys as well. They might be, some of them really, really strict, and every single account they treat with like as if it's their only account and everything like that. For me, I have like my funded accounts, my personal account, and then challenges. And challenges I trade when I'm not as confident in the market.
Yeah, 100%.
I used to scale my capital.
Yeah.
And with especially the funded accounts, I'm a lot more cautious with, because if you trade, I say that and then I just the day funded, but because I don't think it's going to pay me out. But with the funded accounts, it's more like small gains. Like to me, a 100k account, I look at it as like a 12k salary.
Yeah, and we spoke about this.
That's kind of what I look at it as, rather than like, oh, this is going to make me $500,000 this year, or something like that, or $1 million, because it can get to that stage, and there's been traders that have done that. But I just think, especially whilst you're young, there's a good quote then, I think it's Amon Godzi said quite a lot, about like quick success builds ego, slow success builds character, something like that. And it's the same with trading, because you can quite quickly tell who's had like a overnight success. They don't really.
We've seen it. We've seen people we're around that just have massive egos now, and it's just like all their whole narrative now is about money and driving this car and doing this, and it's kind of like it comes to a point where I feel like I appreciate money more, and I would not go and like renting a Lambo is cool and like having a bit of fun. But that's also a lot of money that you can invest into your business. You can put towards ads. You can buy funded accounts with. I would prefer to do that and build an empire rather than have a couple of days with a Lamborghini. I'd prefer to work for 10 years and invest the money and then buy a Lamborghini. That's kind of the narrative that I always put towards my guys.
No, I agree. What was I going to say? I don't really know question I was going to ask you.
I do have some questions written down, to be fair.
Oh, you wrote it down? Yeah. For it. How are you? 21?
21, yeah.
21. When do you turn 22?
In April.
Same as me. What's 26th? 28th.
No way. That's crazy.
So you're literally 2 days older than me.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
We've literally got the same, pretty much the same life.
Really similar story building up.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. What I was going to say is we were talking a bit in the brief moment coming up to the office about like trading and how it's changed both our lives massively. But for me, I was obviously saying how it's more of, and like literally what you've just described. It was more of a mindset thing, like not spending it, and even when you've run into money, not being an idiot with it, not doing this, not doing that, actually creating more money out of it, or a stable income, or something like that. Yeah. And I think that for me, when I first had my biggest account flip, well, not my biggest account flip, my first like big account flip, I bought a car. And it was stupid. I bought a car. I was working as a code tester. Bought the same car I've got now, just an older one. Okay. I just couldn't afford it. It's just like, why the fuck have I done that?
I did the exact same thing.
And it's like cool because trading, no one else can do that because you've got the ability to make a lot of money. Yeah. But equally, I remember I had that car. I quit my job, and then obviously when you're a trader, you don't need this office is so unnecessary. You don't need an office. You don't need a ton of screens. You just need. Ideally a screen, but you can use a laptop or your phone or whatever. Yeah. I remember I was at home and I was just like, why do I have a 13k car just sat there for no reason?
And you go to Mackey's you don't.
If then, I remember I didn't want to drive it as well. Because there'd always be something that went wrong with it. Even my one now has got 2 things wrong with it, and I've had it a month.
I've seen when the lads come around for woke. Do you remember when they come round? There was a bunch of and I remember you were driving it, and then there was a little rattle, and you were
it's still there. I just can't be bothered to get it checked. But this thing of cars, I just find I'm not a massive car. I like a good car, but I'm not a massive car guy. So I just look at them as okay, this is nice. I can drive it. It's just comfortable. Yeah. And it's just more annoying. When something goes wrong with it, I'm just like, for fuck's sake, that's $2,000 or that's that, and then I've already scratched all the alloys and all of it. I'm just a shit driver as well. No. And it's a long car, so it's
I've seen it. It is quite long. I would find it difficult to drive. But when you had your first car that you bought, what age was that?
I think it was 19.
19.
18 maybe, 18 or 19.
Yeah. I think I had the same thing. So I had So when I was around 19, I had about like £3,000 payout, £4,000, and I was like stacking.
Right.
I was just like, the job that I was working was paying me around £1,200 per month, and on a Friday night I would make that. Like my monthly wage on a Friday night, and
that's literally when I was working recruitment. Just before I left, so I had the COVID job. Then I went to recruitment, and I was in like I was only young. I was like 19 or something like that, and my whole team were like telling me, "Oh, you need to do this. You need to get these sales. You need to do that." And I was like, "Okay." And there was no commission. There was nothing. It was just a really shit base salary, and I was just kind of going in. I remember like literally the same thing. I was making my monthly wage in London session whilst I was at work. Like, and I think the week that I quit the job, I'd literally done a trade every day, and every single day was at least a profit of my monthly paycheck was something. So it was like, I think it was 1.5. Which, like, realistically, you know how much you're worth. I know how much I'm worth. It's crazy these massive corporations or whatever you're doing apprenticeship can make you think that you're worth so much less. Obviously, it's very important to learn things, and even like that was compare me to in terms of speaking or sales or anything like that now compared to then. Obviously I'm like a lot better now, and I hope that I'll be able to get a better job. But it's like they don't actually care to reward you for the right things, like say commission or
it's crazy. I mean, my job, I was working like 7:30 to like 4:30 at night, which is not a massive shift. It's just like a kind of a general shift. But it was like non-stop. Like we had 2 factories, so I'd walk from one factory to the other, and I'd constantly be doing that walk every day, just talking to engineers and kind of sorting the projects out that I was doing. And you know, I'd be mentally drained because it's quite a frustrating job and you can't get parts out and things like that. But in addition, it was physically quite draining because we was walking so much. And it got to the point where I was like, I feel like I'm worth so much more. I was like, I go home, and I was doing my apprenticeship, so I was on a bit less money because I was getting a career out of it. But I felt worthless. Like I felt like the number that I was getting given at the end of the month just didn't relate to how passionate I was for my job and how much work I was trying to put in. And then we also spoke about in the office, like imagine if you got paid from your performance, like you got paid from if you got the parts out the door, if you finished that project or drawn this part up, or a meeting you did, whatever it may be. If you got paid for that stuff, the work ethic and the drive to work would be so much higher. But if I didn't attend a meeting, my end of month wage wouldn't change. And that's what kind of switched it for me.
It's like is my mum as an example. She's been at the same company for almost, I think, 30 years, something like that. So it's something ridiculous. And she's like just gotten to the point where she just doesn't feel like anything she does is relevant. She's going to get paid the same, like I said, every single month. She could not work. They're not going to get rid of her. She's been there for ages. Now she's a lovely woman. She's not just trying to snap But she's given them so much time, like 30 years of her life. And she's like, she just still feels like she's doing stuff that's not relevant. It's not really matter. The company's like, it's losing. Like the company's pretty much not bankrupt. It's like
getting there.
It's like an insurance company, and they stopped like ages ago. So it's just like filling out stuff that is from years ago and making sure everything's up to date. And it's just like, I don't know. I think there was something, and probably similar for you. There was some sort of realization where you're like, this can't be life. I don't want to do this my whole life. I don't want to be constantly being told one what to do, two limited completely by the position that you're in, because you can't walk into a job and get like a, I don't know, like someone who's been in there for 40 years and they're at the top of the hierarchy. You can't go in and get that job. You might be better at that job than they are, because
you have to work your way up though.
Exactly.
That's what's difficult.
And you're always limited by whatever your manager or someone else has set you. So that's obviously kind of, I think...
One thing that, to bring my mom into it as well, when I was younger, my mom would always say that you are just a number, and you will always just be a number. And I thought this was like a negative thing she was saying to me. She'd always be like, she would always like enforce this on me, and I was like, I'm not just a number. Like I'm someone. Like I've got a personality and stuff. And then I realised that she was like saying that to make me force out of that and go against her and be like, oh no, I'm not just a number. And then when I said to her, I remember I went to her bedroom and I just said like, I'm quitting my job. I was like, I'm going full time. You've seen me trading, you've seen my bank account, like, you know I'm ready. But now I'm like not going back in. And then she was just like, now you're not a number. And I was just like, okay. Like she brought me up to make me think that I'm a number, and then that made me
want to prove it wrong.
Yeah, kind of thing. And it was a weird dynamic that I never understood, and as I grew up I understand it more. And now I put it towards my cousin that's trading, like he's learning how to trade, he's working at Donoh, he's going to college. So he's kind of doing the same journey as me. He just hit 19 Fridays, which is like, he needs to step up his game a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the same thing with him. I'm just like, if you don't do this, you're just going to be a number. Like you're just going to be a number for the rest of your life. I feel like it stems into a lot of comfortability as well. I feel like a lot of people just like the idea that they're going to get a monthly wage.
It's one of those things as well. Like I was speaking to Sam about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, and this is the thing. It's like Sam, and whatever business I ever do and wherever I work, because we were speaking a bit about content before, and it's like Sam has all these different clients and he's really good at what he does, and really good. And he's got the potential to earn whatever he wants to. But he's recently, he won't mind me sharing this. He's like recently cut quite a few clients, and it's the way in terms of like our relationship. He's like one of my best mates, like, and it's not like he's part of the project. It's not like he's a number at all. He's like one of the only people in the business, and he's massive to it. And that's the only thing that I think in terms of what I would ever get involved with. I don't think I could ever get involved with something that, one, I don't care about, but two, I don't feel like I'm a big part of it. Because like I'm certain that he's going to do really well, we're going to do really well, and it's all down to like having the right balance of like you're not just another person that's brought into the business. He's actually like here to more of like a partner, to be fair. And I just feel like every other job or every other business, it's all like you're here to do a job and that's it. And I see a lot of like different businesses. You've walked around this office and seen the amount of businesses that you can see. And I try and get a bit of like the way that different entrepreneurs deal with different people and how they like. That's one of the main things that I've learned recently. It's like man management, and like we were speaking a bit about it in terms of like people that you have in your team, how you're gonna motivate them, keep them like happy. Obviously, if what they want, if they want to go further, then enable them to do that. All of that stuff. But have you, in terms of obviously taking this a little bit away from trading, obviously you've got the fund, you've got the Discord as well. Is there any kind of future entrepreneurial dreams you've got, or is it more based just on trading?
I think real estate is just a typical one that most people get into. I think real estate would be a good one. I kind of want to be more hands-on to it, and I also want to kind of give my dad another income as well. So if I want to do, I think it's the 5 hours or something. I'm not too familiar. It's like the Burr movement or some, like it's where you buy or you renovate, you refinance, you remortgage, all that type of stuff.
Okay.
I would love to buy an old house, renovate it, do it up nicely, and then have someone rent that. And then I'd also want to bring family members that are like builders and like kitchen fitters and do the bathrooms and things like that. Get them in and give them another source of income, like just something on the side. And I think that would be something that I want to go into in the future. But apart from that, nothing really else.
It's a weird one, isn't it? It's like, even for me, like I've spent, like everything's trading. It's like, obviously mentoring, it's about trading all the time. Any sort of call, it's about trading. Anyone I'm meeting, it's normally about trading. And then obviously my business is around trading. So that obviously makes perfect sense. But I don't know. I think if you've got the skill set of trading, it's trading in my eyes is the hardest thing to be genuinely good at compared to all of these other things. I think most businesses you can operate at a good level without being like so self-reflective, so like perfect psychologically. So I don't know, for me, I definitely want to look into like different aspects of things. I don't know exactly what, there's like loads of different ideas, but I've got a few friends, obviously them boys downstairs that work heavily in kind of more content creation space, which is fun. Obviously, having clear plans for that is something in itself. I feel like that is a business. Your personal brand is definitely a business in itself.
And I want to invest into that more. I want to kind of show myself more and like have people kind of follow my journey and see me as like an inspiration, I guess, is probably one thing that I want to do. I think that's one thing I want to focus on over the next like few years at least. But
we've been talking
just networking. I think it's great. Just meeting people.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it. We've been talking about it for weeks actually, about kind of the difference in the social medias, etc. Because obviously, I'm a big investor into personal brand. I think that might actually be equal to trading in terms of like what I'm investing into for the next however long. And obviously, I think I initially built my main following on TikTok. Was yours TikTok initially?
Mine was TikTok, yeah.
And then we've both kind of like
moved towards
Instagram and YouTube now. YouTube's definitely where it's at. Like, I'm certain if you're a new content creator or anything like that, YouTube is where you want to start building a proper following, because realistically on TikTok, it's so short form that someone's going to look at it 5 seconds of their day, either swipe or stay for a few more seconds. They're not going to actually know you as a character or know why they like you. And I think on YouTube, they're getting so much more of an understanding of like you as a person.
And then your personality comes out more, and you can kind of, like conversations like this, you show your true like, and just kind of your ideas and the way you perceive certain elements and just having an opinion on things, I think is what people like to see. Whereas like, it's the same with Instagram. Like, you go on my Instagram, like, my videos do quite well, but like, you go onto it, it's just like a picture of me for like 2 seconds, and it's just a bunch of other stuff, and then people are like, oh cool, like, and then swipe off. But that's not me. That's just, anyone can do what I do. It's just, I'm lucky in the fact that I'm pretty good at editing. I put it at the right times, the right noise, the right.
You find a lot of value in your stuff. I watched some of the ones recently where you're giving off good strategies, you're giving off like good information on trading. A lot of people would see that and be like, oh wow, it's done really well. And he's actually giving out value. We're in a weird place of kind of like personal. We had to make a whole new Instagram because I don't know if this has got anything to do with it. We had my main Instagram, which is probably the one that you speak to. And then we made Don's Effects a few months ago. And the reason we did it is because we were uploading every day, and I've been doing everyday uploads for like a year now. And this one had so many followers from like where I'm at. No one cares about trading. It's not like that we already had like quite a few thousand followers, and they just weren't like, didn't care about it. So we made this new account, and I remember Sam was like, everyone here was kind of like, why would you do that? You've got a decent following on that one. And I was like, I just know that we're providing really good value and we're doing good content, but it's not getting to the right people. So I was like, we're going to make a whole new account, obviously just post content on it. The first one got more views than any of the ones on my first account. For them, we were like, okay, we know this is the ones to let's go on. So the cameras have died midway through conversation. Me and Charlie have got up and had multiple other conversations. But yeah, I don't know how much we got on film. I'm hoping it's quite a lot. It should be about, oh well.
But anyway, we'll get more tomorrow.
Yeah, well, so obviously today, basically just meeting Charlie probably, show around the office, and introduce all to a bit of, like I say, our team. It's just Sam and then the boys over the office. Right, a couple of lads. And then obviously went up to Sky Lounge after this, had long conversations just about different things in the industry, which is really cool, really insightful. And tomorrow is a bit going to be even more insightful. We'll be going up to Vanquish. And
meeting those, introducing you to the investment space.
The investment space, a new space for me. Yeah, excited to learn more and be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to meet them. They're very interesting people. It's great to network. I think this is just like great in general, just to kind of meet people, learn different strategies, learn more about the market and the industry. I think too many people are secluded to themselves and not,
Yeah, no, props to you as well, because you've like made effort obviously to come here and make it all happen. So it's like really, it's fair play. Because like I said, I'm not nowhere near as good as that. As you are. So
just got to throw yourself in the deep end.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is the thing. Like I said, I'm just used to. This is life. This little room here. Yeah. And those boys downstairs, but realistically, there's a lot more out there, especially in the training space. It's just finding the right people, because, like we're saying, there's a lot of people that's not necessarily there's right and wrong, and there's different ways to do different things. And obviously, it's about being around the correct people, and I think finding yourself in the right situations.
You can put yourself in the wrong crowds.
Exactly. So, especially in this space, as we've still got a bit of camera space, I wanted to go for kind of like, what are your goals for this year?
Very in the deep end, man. This year is max allocation with multiple top firms, like that about behind. Because of course they're max allocation with everyone. So I think building my capital even more, building my cash is a big one, like my cash accounts.
Oh, cash.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So building cash accounts is probably the big one that I want to do, and then that's obviously the use to get the max allocation and being able to fund the accounts. And grow my capital that I have in the fund, so the capital that's invested. And I think the main one is just networking with people and like meeting more people, getting more opportunities through the people I meet, and go to potential events, go away, maybe Dubai, and have like a traders event over there. I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, just kind of like that, meet all people. What's your goals?
No, that's like, I mean, we spoke about events kind of off camera, but it's definitely a space I think Forex hasn't properly grasped yet, and it definitely could be huge. Obviously, we've got potentially a crypto event in Dubai next month, so I might be in Dubai next month.
Small flex.
Yeah, no, it's what his thing. So yeah, hopefully that happens, and more networking opportunities there. For me, I want the personal, like my personal is more my focus. I want to get more funding, like build out not 2 mil, more like 3 mil, 2 mil actually there, because as much as I passed 2 mil, 500k with my forex funds gone, so I'm not on 2 mil, I've just passed 2 mil, which is annoying, and there's the odd account which isn't in a good place. So yeah, probably get 2 mil actually tradable, which would be good, and then focus on personal accounts, focus on networking, obviously build out work. My main aim is I want to get at least, got to be careful because people go grab onto it. I want to get, by the end of the year, 10 7-figure traders in Woke.
Okay.
And we've already got 36-figure traders. So by the end of the year, potentially 100 6-figure fund traders. That's like, I know that's quite a big goal. But I think that's
achievable. It's slightly out of your control though.
Yeah, I know.
I can't do everything to do that, but
no, it's like at the moment we've got, I think, 40% of people that have been in for a year. No, people that have been in for a year, all funded other than one, I think, which I'm not going to disclose, and I'm sorry. But I've all that. So there's like everyone's joined, typically getting 40% of them 6-figure funded, which is, in terms of industry standard, like
that's great.
It's literally the best that I've seen. But I always said that I think it's down to the actual, like, because like I said, every trade is different, so you understand if there's that strategy that fits you, why not be mine? So if it's not the case, you might join a course, you might really not like understand the strategy or like it, and then you're kind of fucked because you don't have calls with them, you're not gonna, or them, and they're not gonna tailor a new strategy towards you. They're not going to back test it with you, forward test it with you, make sure it's actually a good strategy, make sure you understand it well. And that's a big part of like getting rid of that barrier. Okay, why not like that strategy? There's a solution. I bet if you're just buying videos, you're not really going to get that all the time. So I think it's just that, and obviously the commitment from the people joining as well. I was saying a bit before about I think this was filmed before. We were talking about the kind of gym membership aspect of like a.
Oh no, I don't think that was.
Was it not?
No, I genuinely don't think it was.
No, it's just obviously like the seriousness of
when you buy
when you're like,
if you buy a gym membership, like having done video ads like 3 months, like
there's people that obviously like, I think if you're, let's say you join a community and you are paying like less, or even if it's just like a good amount that's monthly, you've still got to be really committed and understand this. Like it's not just because it's not cheaper, but like for me, like I said, I put down some money, or my missus did. That made me like have to do it. And
like so. But if you're paying like, for example, our monthly fee is like $99, people might not take it as serious. And then that's when I said we can pick who's serious and who's not from the people that like take the lifetime. So if people invest like £3,000 into their career, they're going to like be at right for a while. But then there's also people that jump in, pay discount, do it for a month, and then decide it's not for that. So it's and I also feel like that's a good area of giving the client freedom. In my mind, like I feel like if you give the client freedom to be able to decide if that's what they want to do, and maybe 3 months down the road they go, I really want to do this now. I mean, what the lifestyle?
Do you know what I think that's really similar to? So like you having those really really good opportunities for people coming in, getting a mass load of people in, and then them deciding, okay, this isn't for me, or this is what I want to do. Whatever it's kind of like for us the introductory call, the proper discovery. So like they're coming in, they're seeing what trading is actually about, and realizing maybe it's not a get rich quick scheme, which it's not. And that's what I'm explaining kind of in the calls, because the amount of people I speak to, they're like, oh, I want to make 10 grand next month. You're like, okay, you're on about 2 grand a month at the moment. How you can't just trade suddenly. You need to actually learn the skill set, apply these fund challenges. That takes time in itself, because unless you're trading maybe fund challenges like maybe me and you can, because of the years we've had in the market, I wouldn't expect someone to come in, be happy to risk 2% on their first 100k challenge, and manage their emotions and their risk and their everything perfectly fine.
Yeah, you're not born with the ability to trade.
No.
And you have to learn the ability to trade and like get over the stress of it. Like, I don't think you just jump onto with a 100k account, pass it with it off. So yeah, I guess that's a good side of being able to test the waters with the client, making sure that they want to actually do it. With us, it's kind of like they sit, watch me live trade, and they hear my dialogue and hear the conversations we have around trading. They're like, "Well, this is a lot. Like, this is so hard." And I had that when I was younger. Like, I would hear people talking about trading and be like, "This is a second language," because it pretty much is. And then I was like, "But I want to learn this language. Like, maybe go learn it." But some people are like, "I don't want it." Yeah.
So. It's weird. Like we were talking earlier, which we weren't talking about so much on film. It's like the simplicity of trading, whether a trader like is just not knowledgeable and making it as simple as possible, which is fine if it works, obviously. But then some really knowledgeable traders will choose to keep it as simple as possible, because they know that that's the easiest way to getting those results, rather than maybe not overcomplicating it. But especially for a beginner, looking at too many things and suddenly not knowing which way to trade.
Yeah, it's like paralysis analysis. It's like when you know too much, or there's too much in your child, or whatever it may be. Sometimes it can become quite overwhelming and difficult to grasp a strategy.
Yeah, and actually make a decision.
Yeah, but then there's the other side that we spoke about, where it's like maybe it's too simple, and maybe is that evident in your knowledge in the market. So it's like there's two ways around it, but I feel like having, as long as you've got the knowledge to back the trading strategy up and you've got the education sorted, simplicity is the best way to go.
I definitely think understanding your strategy is like having a clear understanding of why your strategy works is completely different to like that's knowledge in a. I'm gonna take this. Sweet, nice one, Joy. In a bit, yeah. Thanks again for watching. Conversation is cut. But we did have some good conversations.
Yeah, we'll edit it all up and see what.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of these in the play.
Yeah,
I'll say what's in there. I've actually done that for the camera, but